I wouldn't call this sailing. Putting my final coat on the rudder. What the hell? Doing the final coat on the rudder. Totally recommend to roll this instead of brushing it. It just looks so much better. Not that it really matters because it's under the water, but you know, obviously if you're doing a whole boat you wouldn't be brushing it anyways. An important note here, bottom paint, which is poisonous to aquatic things, so it's chalky, it'll come off, it'll wear off over time. You might have to redo it every so often. This bottom paint is not suitable for topside. It's not meant to be in the sun, it's not meant to be above the water line. There's no point to that. It's not a durable finish like that for out in the sun. So bottom paint below the water if you want to prevent growth and less scraping, and topside paint up here, which I haven't done yet. Well, I just finished sanding the tiller. It looks pretty good. I'm going to wipe it with mineral spirits now and then get to drilling out these holes. All right, well, I've over drilled these holes and now I'm pouring epoxy into the big holes so I can re-drill them smaller. And I want to make a point. Someone commented in the other video, the point of this is right now there's just wood inside these holes, and if it rains, well, water's going to go in there and eventually that's just not good for the wood. So by filling it with epoxy on a bigger hole and then re-drilling it to the right size, your bolt's only going to be surrounded by epoxy and the wood's never going to get wet. So I'm going to do this before I varnish it. Well, yeah, I'm not exactly sailing, and this isn't what I had planned. I was sealing up some leaks, but then I discovered my winch is falling apart for the keel. Yeah, that's not good. That's a big deal, and I gotta get that fixed. One, two, three, four. I got the new Keel Winch from Catalina Direct, and this winch is very specific to this boat. In fact, you'll see here it says used for only in a Catalina 22. Shows the rotation, direction, sticker, and everything on it. Alright, so I have the new housing on, and I have this over my volcano tube because I almost learned something the hard way. Let's personally thank the man who came up with this idea of ratcheting wrenches like this. I like the way the brake feels on this one better. I had gotten this True Plug and rigged up a, I have a whole bilge pump that's like temporary and you can set it any place you want, clamp it to the battery. So I had that in there while I did this repair, and I bought this true plug to keep in the sailboat, which is good to plug leaks. But I had all that ready just in case I had any emergencies over here during this replacement. This is the problem with the old cable drum. It rusted, and I noticed the cable was inside it. Well, there it is, another project done, but only half of a project really, because everything below that, the cable, the tube, the turning ball, the keel itself, bottom of the boat, okay, it's, I guess, you know, these kind of older boats you could just keep going and going. I'm also going to sand this winch cover. This is where my little voltmeter goes. Well, that looks a little better, and I think it'll be fine even though it's that bolt's touching there, unless someone really kicks that, but that was never attached at the bottom anyways, so that's good. So why do I have not enough table in my garage? Well, a couple reasons. I've never liked how far this thing stuck out into the walkway in the boat. It doesn't need to be this big. Another 2 inches, 3 inches off would mean a little bit easier way to pass through. We keep hitting this edge when we walk into the boat, when we're carrying stuff, and I just don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. And what really sealed the deal for me was that with the windows leaking over the past year, it dripped on the table and it swelled up this end. It damaged the table here and swelled this up too. Well, alright, I'm about to do the thing I've been dreading, which is taking the windows out. Not just because it's hard to get them out or anything, but then I have to take them home and spend probably a whole day tinting them, waiting for that to dry. Anyways, you'll see all that, but I'm not looking forward to this. It's like the last thing I have to do to really seal this up in here and get everything to stop leaking. So let's, without further ado,